welcome back to another episode of Off Topic. My name is Chris, and as always, to the right is John Parker.
What's up?
And to the left is Justin Gardner.
Hello.
Also known as the Garden Gnome.
Yes, we did not say that.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
If you would like to donate $200, then you can have a custom gnome that says Justin's name on it.
Man, that would be awesome.
They get it. You don't get it. Actually, no.
I
For
know, I'm just
$200,
saying.
Justin gets the gnome.
I'll sign it and send it to you.
Yeah.
Just
So
put it
please
in our
support our
office.
Patreon.
I really
I would
hope.
I would love to have a Justin Garden Gnome that just moves around the office.
I'm going to buy it now.
It's like Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah,
Only
it's going to be this tiny,
Yes.
too. It's going to be this short. Shorter than the other gnomes. And...
Because even amongst the gnomes, he's short.
Oh, God, sorry.
Thank you for that.
We love you,
Welcome.
Justin. But here at Off Topic, we talk about things that will make us better, godly Christian men.
Or, tear each other down.
or tear
like
each other
calling
apart.
the other
Hey.
guy short.
We got to stay humble. If we have
That's
too
right.
much of an ego,
We're helping you.
you are higher than us, though.
That's because he's got the spiffy chair.
He does.
Yeah, the spiffy chair that my legs don't touch the ground on.
That's why we make you use
That's
that
why
chair.
I sit like this.
We have to give him a special pillow on the back because he doesn't like the one that comes with the. Oh, hi, Max. That doesn't come with the chair.
Everyone, it's the return of Max.
It's the return of Max.
2 weeks in
He's
a
back.
row.
2 weeks in a row. Hi,
Because,
Max.
okay, look, hold on. We're going to stay on this for a minute.
Oh, gosh. Here we go.
Look at this chair, okay?
For those of you on audio only,
Those of
this
you
makes
on
no
audio
sense.
only, this makes no sense to you.
Watch his feet.
Here, what? Just watch. This is the type of person who buys a chair that no one can sit in. Because when
What do
I
you mean no
when
one
I
can sit in?
I can
all
sit
the-
in that chair.
When I sit all the way back in this chair, look at my legs.
Swing him.
This is
I-
this is
I
not an
cannot-
us problem. This
I
is a you
cannot
problem.
touch the
Do you know?
ground.
Do you know the original purpose for that chair?
Did it have an ottoman with it?
No.
Because that's
I mean, that poof. Normally.
That right there, as that was a baby chair, wasn't it? That was for rocking the baby.
That one was. Actually,
that one was.
Actually, that one was originally in the kids' room, and I brought it up here. But no, that chair we bought when we were at the Greens, it was discounted at Target, and it's supposed to be just an accent chair. So it's a look good chair.
an
It's not
accident waiting to happen. If
it. What? Because you're going to fall off of it and break your leg?
Probably.
You
It's
don't
so
know how
high.
to work a chair.
Oh man, we're just roasting.
Are we actually going to talk about
We're trying to be
something today?
lighthearted.
Work on it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it.
I did it, Dad. He's not watching this.
Why not?
No. That's a conversation when we have with
Oh
Sam.
man.
Sam's gonna meet. We're gonna have that conversation with Sam.
Oh
joins.
man.
But
the daddy conversation.
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man, that just threw me off. I just got myself on the only comment. That's gonna get a lot of people on that. Anyway, but we're
Send
trying to be
your emails
lighthearted.
to Chris
Yeah.
at AliveNet.
Yeah, we're being lighthearted because we are going to be talking about something pretty serious, and I know it's going to get Justin fired up. John was kind of getting fired up in the meeting that we were talking about. You watched more of what we're going to talk about.
A little, not a lot more.
Yeah, you did. I could only watch like 4 minutes.
Well, he made it like 13 minutes, he said. I made it like 15.
Well, he said 2
I
episodes.
thought you made it 2 episodes.
No, he lied to
okay.
you.
Oh, okay.
Goodness.
Never mind.
I was about to say.
Don't listen to him.
We're going to have some conversations. But,
Anything else by way of intro we want to talk about?
I mean, I don't want to jump straight into this topic yet.
Hi, Max. No, I can't.
Max brought you his
I
toy.
ca- I
He
know.
That means he loves you.
Yeah,
Here.
you're his new buddy.
I can't.
Oh, but also you've got to fight for it.
Hold on. Wait.
Yet again, he's showing it to you, not giving it to you. Look with your eyes,
Throw
not
it.
with your hands.
Throw it. Don't hit the camera though.
Throw it right at the camera. There we go. All right, good job, Max. Way to go.
Max, come here. Max, come here.
Look, everybody, this is now the Max show.
Yep. This is the Max segment.
This is
Every week from now
This
on,
is
we're
my
gonna have
toy.
a Max.
This is my
segment.
toy now.
Max is going to
This is
become
my
the
toy.
the the
This is my
favorite
toy
of
now.
the channel.
He's the unofficial not sponsor.
Yeah, he's
but
our sponsor.
Sponsored by
mascot
Max. Maximilian.
of. Is that his full name?
Yes.
Is that actually his full name?
Yeah.
Does he have a middle name?
No, but he's good to the last flop though. is what my wife likes to say.
I mean, he
he's
just
got-
flopped.
'Cause
10
oh,
minutes
yes,
ago.
he did.
Man. He wiped out. It was
Oh man,
horrid.
I've never seen him do that.
I didn't
Like,
know if he
just
was
like
okay.
stalled midair and just went, and then just like he rebooted midair and just fell. Just, like he jumped to get the tug of war rope that is at John's feet right now, and he jumped, just logged out, and just fell.
404 error,
Yeah.
file not found.
Dog not found. just you could just hear the window
Dog.exe
Windows
has failed.
Yeah, you could just hear the Windows Vista like log out sign just and then just oh, he found the squeaker.
Oh, we found
Oh,
the
good.
speaker. There it is.
There it is.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
So we have background music now.
Yeah. Hey, we haven't had any trains though for this episode though.
Yet.
So
Yet.
yeah. But we are on video. So,
Again,
Yeah.
video hasn't failed us. Knock on wood.
That's fake wood. That's fake wood too.
There's no real wood in this.
There's no
joint.
real wood in this house.
Actually, that's real wood.
Well, I'm not gonna go get up to knock on it. So
That's my
Yeah, I believe in Jesus,
here,
not in
hold on. Here,
superstition.
hold on. I'll just.
say it again. There's real wood on this. Actually, the base has real wood.
Why are we talking about
Okay,
things
can we
that
move
have
on?
real wood?
I am just like all over the place right
Stalling.
now. I'm stalling. I know.
You don't want to talk about this, do you?
It's such a heavy topic, and I know it's going to get us
It's
all
a
fired
heavy
up.
topic, but it's an important topic.
It is.
Probably gonna get us all
Any-
fired
anything
too. But
else
you know,
by way of intro?
It is. I don't think.
how
we
about
need-
that Super Bowl?
Great game,
It was amazing.
close game.
Couldn't believe the way it turned out.
I know.
Man, the team that won, man, they did a great job.
The
I feel-
insert team here
I feel
really
bad-
played great.
I feel bad for Kelsey.
Why?
Travis or your wife? Which Kelsey?
Travis.
Oh.
We're talking about the game.
I thought you were talking about your wife. Like,
No.
like she was like a really big Niners
No.
fan or something.
No, what'd you say? Niners fan? I thought you said something else, and I don't think you're allowed to say that on
Oh, sorry.
certain
I
platforms.
apologize.
But yes, I think we're done with our intro. I mean, we are going to talk about something very important today. We are going to talk about something that was released on Amazon Prime recently.
When
Speaking
did
of
it
Amazon.
release?
Hold on, calm down.
Goodness
of Amazon.
sakes.
1 second. What are you looking at right now?
No, that's why I say. Speaking of Amazon, I just got 2 packages delivered, and
What'd you get?
I think that's the wrong
don't
house. That's an
really-
OU.
I don't really
Yeah,
know.
we don't have to talk about that.
Max.
I don't know what.
Where is he at?
Max.
Is he at your feet?
Max has had enough of you.
Oh. Are you barking at something out there? You barking at the
Yeah,
cat?
Justin.
No, he can't see Justin Roll there.
Okay. So we ordered cashews from Amazon.
Cashews or cash shoes? Which one is it?
You know you can get those
Cashews, the food.
Why?
You know you can get those local, right?
Because Planters makes a rosemary sea salt. These are the ones that Lindsay had at her
What
desk.
in the world am I hearing right now?
So they make
Rosemary.
a rosemary sea salt, dill pickle, and cinnamon sugar, brown sugar.
All together?
flavors.
Are those
No.
okay?
No,
So
there's
is that
separate
multiple
flavors.
Oh,
Yeah, it's multiple
the way you
flavors.
said it.
multiple options.
commas
They're-
are important, kids.
They're awesome.
Are they? I mean, I like
Yes.
cashews, but I'm not a big almond fan. Kind of, it's just a
Chocolate
weird.
covered almonds are good though.
No, but like when
Oh.
you bite down on them, it just I don't know, it just feels weird, to me. But cashews are good.
Not sponsored, but the candy store downtown.
Downstairs,
Downstairs?
you got a candy store downstairs.
At my
Called
house there is.
It's called my children's room.
But you know the one.
Indeed.
Dark chocolate covered cashews.
Oh yeah. They also they also knocked down some affordable living for some parking.
Sorry.
Yeah,
so
well, you know, you
Capitalism.
what we didn't talk
want to
about.
make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs.
Oh Lord! What we didn't talk about last week was Christmas break. John and I met.
We did talk about Christmas break, so why are we bringing?
Yes,
it up?
I know, but John and I met for lunch.
Oh, yeah, bring this up.
And we
no.
went to B&C Creations downtown.
Oh, we're just giving them a free plug, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
'cause
For all
it's
of our
the best.
listeners.
Because this man had never been there. And have you been there? Do you
Nope.
know what I'm talking
Nope.
about? Okay, so B&C
It was a
Creations
delight.
is downtown. It is essentially
Where is it at?
Washington and
Yeah, let me ask
third?
this. Let me ask this guy. He knows what he's talking about. What you said?
Washington
Washington
and
third.
third.
Okay.
right
Ranked?
across the street from the new arcade location.
Yeah. Okay. I know where
Okay.
that's now.
This is essentially a barbecue buffet.
Oh, I know what it is.
So
I've drove by.
You pay
and
a
it
certain
smelled
amount
amazing.
of money for.
Yeah.
You can do like a quarter pound, a third pound, a half pound, or you can just pay for the unlimited times through. Which
If
is
you
what
guys
we
want to
decided
sponsor
to
an
do.
episode, we'll record
B&C, yes.
we will
We'll do whatever you want.
We will 100%. Not everything. What? No.
Oh,
we
sorry.
will record.
I'm hungry.
We will record a show there if you supply food.
100%. B and C. Watch this.
We will
Just saying.
run free ads for a year. Maybe not a
it's-
year.
Dude,
best.
stop saying things that we're not going to do.
The things I would do for barbecue.
I mean, in Vietnam, music just started.
Okay,
Just like
moving
the
on.
Fortunate
Anyway.
Son just started playing in his
So
head.
it was just such a blessing of a
Yes.
time just to go back through multiple times and get just different meat after different meat after different meat. It was the best.
Hey, bud.
Max is like, "Hi, what you are
Oh,
you?"
you bring it to me? I'm sorry. So, would you care to discuss what we did after?
Yeah. So after we went across the street to the arcade,
of course.
and we
And?
spent an hour and a half, and John
Great
was
place.
kicking my tail.
Yeah,
at
because he grew up on
Mortal
those games.
Kombat, and
It was
would-
pathetic.
It was
you
real
would,
bad.
You would not win
Dude.
on Mortal Kombat with me.
Dude only
just
got
saying.
like a hit because I let him.
Wow.
Again, y'all grew up in the Stone Age with these
I
upright
grew up
video
poor.
games.
Okay, that's why I had old games. Thank you.
I've really thought about getting a Mortal Kombat cabinet,
Really?
but I feel like it'd get old
Don't those
eventually.
aren't those like super expensive though?
You can get the arcade one up ones.
I had
for
Mortal
fairly
Kombat
cheap.
3 on Nintendo 64.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was fun. I watched John play this game for you were working on that game for like a
Oh,
solid.
I played
half hour.
Heavy Barrel, which was one of my favorites as a child. And I had never completed the gun so that you get the big heavy barrel gun. And I never beat it. And I was determined.
He literally for the first 30
Oh, it was at least an hour.
40 yeah. He sat there and played the whole game, and I just walked around and played my own games by
Had it-
myself because I would just wander past him, and he'd still be going.
Had it cost quarters to play, it would have been $20 easy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the good thing. Now the pinballs do cost though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they have a great pinball selection.
I haven't been to their new location.
It's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
There's it's less cramped.
I liked the outside look of the old location.
Yes.
It kind of
Yes.
reminded me of like Tron a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they have more space.
But this
now.
one they have, they added a restaurant
Yeah.
to it and stuff.
Yeah, do you know the guy that owns that also owns the Just a Sip?
Oh, I didn't know
really?
that.
Yep.
So, hey, guy who owns the arcade, we could do an episode there too.
Hey,
They don't have dining. It's a drive-through only location, but Kelsey loves their drinks.
we could do an episode at the arcade.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying. Oh yeah, the arcade. Yeah, I would love to. Let's do it. I don't care.
On site, off topic on site.
Oh gosh.
Come on.
Gosh.
We'll play
Anyway.
while I'm destroying Justin.
Yeah. He could talk and beat Justin at the same time.
It's not that hard.
We'll just do like an Instagram live or something.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see.
Someone set it up.
All right. Have we stalled long enough?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to take a break, and then we're going to jump right into this pretty heavy topic. If you were listening to our last episode, we talked about how we're going to talk about just the kind of like glorification of Satan. And just
I would say another way to say that is the desensitization
yeah.
of the world from
Mainstreaming.
Yeah, well, calm down. But yes, in media, yeah, it has become a pretty big thing lately, and I feel like we see a lot more of it now. We've always been connected as a society, but now I feel like we are now more because of like TikTok and Instagram, just kind of giving it to you right away, and so people can push things out there and grow and reach a demographic that they normally wouldn't have reached in the past.
Yep.
and people are kind of accepting it. But we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get into a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So stay tuned.
Welcome back to Off Topic. We're gonna get rolling on this pretty, I would say, heavy topic for the next couple of episodes.
We're going to split it between 2 episodes. Sorry, I did not want to burp into the microphone. We're going to use a thing that we saw first.
Yeah, so let's very, very right at the top. We're going to be talking about a TV show that we've seen
Parts of.
I would not say seen as in
did not. I watched 13 minutes of the first episode and I couldn't go any further.
I watched 4 minutes.
They lost me at the musical number.
So
That's what sorry.
At the very top of this, I want to make a disclaimer. Do not
watch this.
not go watch the show that we're about to talk about.
It is an animation. It is not family friendly.
No.
Clearly.
No, please. do not,
Please. We're from the every fiber of our being. Do not go watch this show. Again, I made it 13 minutes into the first episode.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh, he just pulled it up.
I'm trying to pull up the trailer. Sorry.
He's going to pull a trailer up.
Okay, just keep going.
Don't watch this show. This is not a family-friendly show.
No.
We're using it for, lack of a better way to say this, educational purposes only.
Oh.
What are you doing?
It started playing it.
No.
You're talking. Oh.
Okay. Do you have the Amazon video?
I do have the Amazon.
Do you want to read the?
Yeah, read the description.
So just to back up for a minute, this was a reel that Chris sent John
Chris
and I
started
this.
It's all Chris's fault.
But he sent us a reel of it wasn't a pastor, but it was a Christian.
It's not a Christian. She's more of a conservative.
Okay, so she was just reacting to.
Yeah, she was reacting to it.
This video. Read the description there.
I will say this was created on a YouTube channel 4 years ago.
Right.
it came out in
Before-
2019.
And then Amazon picked it up
So
to distribute it.
just a reminder, we're talking about the influence of Satan and the desensitization
And
of
this is
Satan.
not us trying to piece in colors off of someone's shoes or something in like a cartoon. This is straight up just like that's the whole topic of this whole show.
Right.
So go ahead, John.
Are you ready now?
Yeah, what's the bio say?
This adult animated musical series follows Charlie, the princess of hell, as she pursues her seemingly impossible goal of rehabilitating demons to peacefully reduce overpopulation in her kingdom. This show is contributing to the overpopulation. Never mind. After a yearly extermination that was imposed by heaven, she opens a hotel in the hopes that patrons will be checking out after proving their souls are redeemable.
So that's
Okay, so there are a lot of things wrong with that.
Now that's just that. Don't know. Okay. That's just that part of the situation, but the trailer is what got me the most. And
Which is also like the first 2 minutes of the show.
yeah. I need to double check and make sure this is going to be just the trailer and not just. Oh, what am I? I'm glad I did not play that out loud.
Yeah, don't.
What am I looking for? Is it?
It's just the first minute of the first episode.
Gosh.
I don't even think you need to necessarily play it.
Yeah.
I think.
I just saw something again. I'm putting it down.
See,
Good call.
and here's the thing. What I want to illustrate right away, it's that bad
Yeah, it's that bad that like
that you can't even look at thumbnails without.
it's pretty bad. And when we say it's adult animation, it's literally
Adult
It's,
animation.
it's bad. So
Again, none of us have watched the three of us have not watched this because we wanted to. We've watched this partially in order to illustrate a
Well,
point.
let me be clear, because I do want to make a point before we go running here.
Yes.
I am not a fan
Oh no.
of the movement of post a thing and throw a huge hissy fit about it, on Instagram or wherever. So whenever I see somebody say, "Oh, Amazon has posted this, the Amazon's satanic," my first reaction is, yeah, whatever. And then I immediately go and check out. So, like, the first thing you and I did when we heard about it was, is this really on Amazon?
yeah,
Right.
Because there are those things.
Yes, because people will say it, and then you go and it's like, no, that's misinformation.
Yeah,
know.
that's a twisted version. And check into the veracity of whatever it is.
Sorry, I have to do something. Alexa, turn the thermostat off.
It's on.
Thank you. All right, sorry. Hey,
Good boy.
dude. Just sorry, I cut you off right in the middle of the sentence.
He's a brilliant dog.
Yeah.
Always check the veracity of these kinds of
Yes.
things, because there are pot stirrers out there that just want to start controversy, and they have a bone to grind against
Well, and you have to also understand
Amazon or
that,
whatever.
like,
You okay over there?
you have to also understand, like, when you get engagement, it doesn't matter what type of engagement is, you're still getting engagement.
Right,
And so
right.
for, like, TikTok or Instagram Reels, all they see is engagement, even if it's negative engagement. And so that benefits the person that's, content creating
Right.
that video. So you also have to think of it like that. But no, we were like, all right, what's the name of this? We looked it up.
We almost begrudgingly watched this.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to. Because how many shows has this been said about before?
Yes.
Yes.
I grew up in the age of the satanic panic of the 80s,
Yeah.
of which Stranger Things is now rightfully making fun of. And I remember all the things about, He-Man is the devil and whatever. So that's my first reaction is, okay, what is this really, what is this show really about? Is it just trying to be, South Park version of inappropriate or what the deal is? And, man, I don't understand what their motives are for this beyond.
So, like I said earlier, this is not us trying to find things and grab things out of the air. This is literally, that's the point of the whole show is
It's
it's so hard to explain. So you watched it, and then I only watched what you told me to watch because there was a certain point that you wanted me to watch. And so it cuts into a song, and goodness gracious, just the musical side of it. It felt like it ripped it off of Frozen at first.
Yeah.
Just like how just the attitude and everything slightly, like when Elsa is like, no, I'm going to do me kind of type thing. So it has that kind of attitude to it, but just the amount of graphic
and I
stuff.
promise it sounds like we're all over the place, and I promise that we're going somewhere
Yeah,
with this.
We are going somewhere.
The opening minute is essentially
Yes.
the story of creation.
And this is the thing that we've all seen.
Right.
This
all,
is the
all
thing
three
that
of us.
This
have
is
seen
what
this.
drove this conversation, and for us to look further into this.
So, first minute is the story about creation, and
It's their view of
their
Genesis.
yeah right. I should be very clear on
Yes.
this.
Their
It's
view of Genesis.
their interpretation, because
There's no mention of God. That's the big thing.
that, and we end up hearing from them about Lilith, and
Which we'll talk about that later in later episodes, but just like it's important to verify scripture.
yeah, we'll talk
Awesome.
about that too.
That's one thing. But just how it puts it is, there was a beautiful city. It was called heaven. And the elders of heaven,
The elders
Elders of heaven,
Let's
not-
underline that for a minute.
and which are just angels. And it was a beautiful world. It was a beautiful city.
And there was an angel named Lucifer, and Lucifer had all these
He was a dreamer.
grand ideas of how to make heaven better, but the elders said no.
They said no and casted him out. And then the elders of heaven created, not God, the elders of heaven created a new place for a new creation. And this new creation, there was Adam and Lilith. Not Adam and Eve, Adam and Lilith. And yeah, and then so there's that. And then,
Easy, kid. Deep breath.
yeah, and then we jump into something about like
So
it jumped into a little bit of like how something about Adam.
So it was it then it jumps into the
Well,
scene in the garden.
Yeah,
And it's
the premise of Lilith is that she was independent, and she rejected Adam's authority over her
Yes.
and left the garden.
She left the garden and then
together her and Lucifer tempted Eve, Adam's new wife.
yeah.
New
Is
wife.
yes, is what
in
it-
order to give them free will, mind you, as what the show says.
yeah, to
Again-
give them free will. But this entered darkness into the world. And as we know, that I mean, they got one thing, right?
And so then we go. They talk more about that for a little bit, and then they introduce Charlie, the main character, who is the daughter of
Lucifer.
Lilith and Lucifer.
Yeah. And so, you know, but then they twist a couple of things. So there's hell, you know, and that's where the demons live. And in this point of context is what they're trying to explain.
Right.
And every year, the elders and angels of heaven come down and
exterminate the inhabitants
of hell.
of hell.
And it's like there's so many things.
Here's the other thing is there's this idea that the demons in hell can be rehabilitated, and
yeah.
and that's not bound in scripture.
Yeah, there's that.
So
But then there's so much more.
Awful musical numbers.
Well, and then just the fact of like the angels that are supposed to represent good, they're no better.
Aren't good. They're no better than the people.
They're creepy. They cuss. Yes. By the way, the other thing is like there's so much.
Oh,
cussing.
so much language.
So much language. Like-
Again, do not go watch this.
like graphical as in language and just
Adult themes and
just
it's
so
just don't.
so much. And oh no, John is reading something over here.
oh
And,
no, John is reading.
And there's just so much. And so there's you know, they do the scene. You know, they do a musical. It's a great. What is it? It's a.
What is
It's a great day in hell.
Yeah, it's a great day.
happy day.
It's a yeah, and there is so much like just it's so bad.
So let's kick into this and let you have a thing to read.
I have
but
I have
a gripe to start this off. So
gosh.
as is my MO. I am doing my research now.
yeah,
According to the ever trustworthy Wikipedia. What is it? What is
so
the
trustworthy
creators?
that I can change it if I wanted to.
Yes. Vivian Medrano is the creator's name. And she...
What's her motive? Sorry.
She says here... first of all, she describes herself as a queer woman on the internet who made something popular and relates herself to the character Charlie, who is the princess.
It's the main character of the whole film.
And saying that... that's what I'm trying to tell him, Max. Give me a second. Saying that both she... Well, if you're going to interrupt, then we're never going to get through this.
Max, he's barking at himself.
That dog in the reflection is just a ferocious beast.
He's gonna hurt you.
So, she says that she relates herself to the character of Charlie, who is the princess of hell, saying that both she and Charlie are in, quote, a position of fighting uphill battles just to have our dreams exist.
But why does that have to be centered around hell and the idea of
I think the biggest thing
Couldn't
like-
you write any other story?
Of like this opening scene that we all saw was just the fact of like they made Satan sound like a misrepresented guy. Like
He
was
is the victim of the story.
He is the victim. Like he didn't know that darkness was going to enter Earth and destroy the new creation. He didn't know that he wasn't supposed to be a dreamer.
He was trying to help.
He sounds like the innocent one of all this.
He sounds like the good guy. And the overall topic here, beyond just this show is just the catalyst that got us
This show
going.
is an example of Max. Can you stop that?
He said no.
That was an official no.
Just continue.
So the overall thing is what we have seen constantly. Like it's almost like cyclical. It happens every so often where there is this glorifying, mainstreaming, whatever you want to say, of evil and of Satan, but each time it happens, it seems like we take it further.
Yeah, it's
right.
like-
I mean, it's happened over
like
and over again.
It's like it continues to be just one step forward, and just it goes a little bit too far.
This is
time.
into the realm of deceit, right?
Right.
I do not necessarily believe that the creator of this show had malicious intent by creating this show. I think she's trying to be ironic and funny and take a stab at the church along the way. The same way Kevin Smith did in Dogma, and the same way countless films have taken their stabs in the past.
Yeah.
There's just a point, though, where there's some things
You don't joke about.
you don't mess with.
This is and this is one of them. And oh, by the way, here's my gripe. Okay, if you're
You only have one?
No, I have multiple.
Oh, okay.
But
So we'll mention your first gripe, and then we'll take a short
Yeah,
break,
okay.
and then we'll come back.
So my buddy and I were talking about this show, and the thing that I said to him was, if you're gonna spoof something out of Christianity or out of the Bible, if you're gonna spoof it, tell the story right as it is written biblically.
Yeah.
So like we've already said there was nowhere has there been mention of God.
Yeah.
Nowhere has there been mention of, oh, by the way, Lucifer was being deceitful towards God, was being selfish towards God, and that's the whole reason.
Yeah, the reason why
That he-
Lucifer got kicked out of heaven, by the way, is not because he was a dreamer. It's because he wanted
He wanted the power of heaven for himself.
The glory.
He
saw
wanted the glory. He
saw
wanted the angels to
himself-
follow him.
He saw himself and God on the same level.
Yeah. And he wanted the angels to worship him. He believed that worship should not only be for one thing. It should not be only God's.
Here's the other thing: is when we get into the theology of, the separation that sin, how sin separates us from God. If you don't accept, and this is just the reality. I'm not trying to sound grim. This is just the reality of not accepting the gift that Christ gives us.
Yeah.
If you don't accept that free gift, the punishment is eternal separation from God.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say, "Oh, so I go to hell." Here's the thing. Hell is just a place that God is not. It's just it's a separation from God. That's really the punishment. Or really just the situation, because if you're not going to accept him now, what's the difference of later?
There are no the opposite of what is made clear in the show. There are no second chances when you get into when you miss that opportunity to accept Christ and after after you die, like that's it. And I can't imagine separation from God, separation from that mercy.
Well, here's the. Okay, so we see hell described as a fiery lake in the Bible.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the traditional view of hell is this burning, brimstone place under the earth and whatever.
Yeah.
If you want a real glimpse of hell, we do it very well ourselves as humans.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. If you really want to, go ahead. But if you want to know what hell is like, go read the descriptions of what Hamas did on October 7th. Go actually find because they're out there, I've seen them, the explicit descriptions of what those men did to those women.
Yeah.
And you will have an idea of what life without God would be.
Second Thessalonians 1, because I'm
Second what?
Sorry, Thessalonians.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
1. That's the right pronunciation of that. And here's the other thing: is we want to do our best to back up what we talk about with Scripture.
Yeah.
So 2 Thessalonians talking about hell, what hell is. They will be punished with the everlasting destruction and shut out from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his might. So being eternally separated from God, there is no coming back.
Yeah.
There is no once you get to that stage, God has given you plenty of chances.
Yeah.
All the way up until the minute that you die.
Mm-hmm.
You have that ability to accept God's free gift.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't,
Yeah.
Never forget, hell was not made for us.
No.
Heaven is made for us. But if
Hell-
you don't want it, if you don't want heaven, if you don't want God, God is relatively okay with that. I mean, he's not going to force himself on you.
It
That's what I'm
breaks
trying
his
to
heart.
say.
But here's the thing, though, is that we complain and complain. Okay, if God cared about us, he would put us in heaven. But that doesn't give you free will, though. Unfortunately, I mean, the practical thing about free will is that you can, if I wanted to, I could harm myself. And that's free will because I have the ability to do that. And that's the same thing with free will. Is
And
that
people choose to do that every day.
Yeah, and we have free will. So we have the ability to decide if we want to go to heaven or not. If we don't accept God, the opposite is separation of God. Period.
a little bit before what I just read to you in 2 Thessalonians, this is verse 5 of chapter 1. It says, all this is the evidence that God's judgment is right. And as a result, you will be counted worthy of the kingdom of God for which you're suffering. He's talking about the churches and going through trials and persecutions, right? Verse 6 says, God is just, and he will pay back trouble to those who troubled you and give relief to you who are troubled. This will happen when the Lord Jesus is revealed from heaven in a blazing fire with his powerful angels. He will punish those who do not know God and do not obey the gospel of our Lord Jesus. They will be punished with everlasting destruction, shut out from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his might. On this day, he comes to be glorified in his holy people and to be marveled at among all those who have believed. And then author goes on to say, this includes you because you have believed our testimony to you.
Yeah.
If you think about what is written in Luke, where it says that Jesus says, I am the light, and without me there is darkness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what hell is. It is darkness. There is no light in hell. And I'm not talking about light as in
Like
a
physical,
light bulb.
like light source,
But there's no good.
yeah.
I mean, you take every evil thought you've ever had in your mind, and that's hell. It's just that's happening.
Because the separation of God is separation of good, because that is what God is.
Right.
You know, God did not create evil. Evil is what it is without God. And it just happens automatically. When you've got God that is good, you're going to have an opposite already. Not equal, but you're going to have an opposite already. And if you're not going to accept the goodness of God, you're in response taking the other choice.
Right. I mean,
It's not like you actively sit here and go, yeah, I want to stay away from God and I want to be in the worst place that I can ever be and be in hell and suffer my whole life. But you are saying that you are saying that because you're not accepting the goodness.
Right.
It's a two side. It's
well, imagine if somebody walked up to you, Elon comes up and goes, "Hey, here's $1 billion," and you say no. Well, you can't be mad at Elon when you go bankrupt the next day.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. You buy something and you're like, well, where's all that money?
Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
We went down that.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I think the other thing is that we tend to stay away from this subject because, one, it makes you uncomfortable, and two, this thought of what the reality of hell is
yeah.
tends to smack people in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little hard. And so we are going to take a very quick break, and then we're going to come back just for a couple of minutes, kind of just do final remarks on kind of this show that we were talking about that kind of launched this conversation, and then transitioning to what we're going to talk about for next episode. There's
The first one of the
First
episode.
Wow.
we're going to transition to what we're going to talk about for the next episode because we are going to continue this conversation. So we'll see you then. Welcome back for our last segment of this kind of deep conversation that we're having. This brought on based off that show that we talked about on Amazon of just kind of just glorifying Satan. But you wanted to talk about who is Satan, right?
Right. And not just that, but I mean, what are his motives? So first of all, I did close it. I'm so good at my job.
Mm-hmm.
We get a description
Still learning his
of Satan's, use my words, Satan's motivations in Isaiah 14.
Yep.
I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit, but chapter 14, verse 12 and proceeding, how you are fallen from heaven, O shining star, son of the morning. O shining star could be translated literally as Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
You who destroyed the nations of the world, for you said to yourself, I will ascend to heaven and set my throne above God's stars. I will preside on the mountain of the gods far away in the north. I will climb to the highest heavens and be like the most God. That's what Satan's original motivations were.
Yeah.
Is he was not happy that God was getting all the worship and all the glory, and he wanted it. He did not want free will for people. He wasn't a dreamer. He wanted all the glory for himself. And so,
What verse was that?
You said
chapter
Isaiah.
14, starting at 12.
Yeah. And here's the thing, I mentioned earlier that Satan wants the angels to worship him. And that's what that verse says. It doesn't say angels, but stars does translate to the same thing as
Right,
angels.
stars, messengers.
And so that's all Satan wants. He wants worship for himself because he's very selfish about it.
And when you die, whether you're good or bad, you do not become an angel and you do not become a demon.
yeah.
The demons are the 1/3, roughly, as we understand from the book of Revelation, of the angels that thought Satan was right
Yep.
and decided to go with him,
Mm-hmm.
and were therefore thumped out of heaven, as our pastor loves to say.
Yes. And so that's what you're dealing with. You're not dealing with people that made a bad choice and decided, I'm going to follow Satan, and then now they're demons. And they're going to get a second chance to, or as this show said, hopefully a second chance to go to heaven. You know,
There is no second chance
That's not
drawing.
how that works. Your second chance, honestly, and this might sound a little hard, but it's just the honest truth. Your chances are every single second that you breathe, every breath that you take, every moment that you know that God is out there and He loves you and He made a way for you. You're getting a chance every single second.
As Christians, we love to say, Jesus, come back.
Yeah.
Come back, please. We're ready. And let me second, if you're waiting on my account, Lord, feel free. Please don't. But why is He waiting? He's waiting so that more can be saved. He's waiting on account of those who have not yet believed so that they can and not have to go to hell.
Exactly.
Hell is not a punishment. Hell is it's like this. Imagine there's a building on fire and you're inside.
Yep.
And God opens a window and puts a ladder out and says, here's the way out. You can either go out the window or stay put.
Yeah, hell is our default situation because of Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve decided to not listen to God's one rule, and that was to not eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge and good and evil.
And how were they able to make that decision? Because they already had free will.
They already had free will.
And even that's the one, that's one of the big plot holes, so to speak, in the show's premise that Lucifer wanted them to have free will, and that's why he tempted them. If they didn't have free will, they couldn't have been tempted.
They wouldn't have been able to make
exactly.
the decision.
And so we've always had free will, but now we know of the evil because we know of what it is without God. And the reason why we know that is because, God did say, if you eat this fruit or eat of this tree, you surely will die. And death in that term meant separation from me. If you know separation from me, you know of the evil of evil because you're not close to me anymore.
And I know
me being God.
Yes.
Right. And I know that we'll get into this in a little bit in the next episode, but I'm always just, when we talk about this, I'm always just reminded of, think of the moment when Jesus is being crucified.
Yeah.
And he takes on the full weight of sin. This is God's Son we're talking about.
And so many people, I think that's hard for them to fathom that or think about that, because I think they think of, all they see is a man being crucified, the worst kind of punishment, but being crucified and not seeing the other side of that effect.
In
the
that
spiritual side of
moment,
that. Yes. God
Jesus
turned away.
Becomes sin.
Yeah.
And God turns his face.
And he had to, because the separation, the when we are separated from God, which we are right now, technically, we can commit sin.
Think about it this way. You guys are both fathers.
Yep.
If one of your kids did something, this is the equivalent of if one of your kids did something and you said, you know what, I'm done. And I'm not going to forgive you for that thing that you did.
Yeah.
Like that's the equivalent of Jesus becoming sin and God turning away. But the story doesn't, luckily for us, the story doesn't end there.
Yeah, and he had to take that on and then bring it to the grave because he had to kill sin.
Right.
And it's not the death of sin. So you also need to realize that too. We can still, if someone would say, well, if sin died, then why do I have a sin issue? Why do I still have lust? Why do I still have a problem with lying or cheating and all these things? Because sin itself didn't die, but the judgment of sin, if you accept Jesus as your Savior and believe that he did that for you, then the judgment of your sin is taken away. That's
Right.
what was destroyed.
And even think about this too. You know, the night before Jesus was crucified in the garden, you know, he's there and he's praying to God, and he says,
and he's praying so hard.
He's
that
praying so hard,
he's sweating blood.
Two thoughts.
Yeah,
He's praying, Father, if there's anything, because Jesus doesn't want to go through with it.
yeah, because he is human too.
because-
he's
And
part-
mind you, I really don't think it's the physical pain of the cross that he's trying to avoid.
No,
Oh, no,
it is
yeah.
not. It is
It's
taking
the
on
separation.
of the whole world's sin.
You are talking about the Son of God who has lived his whole life as a man,
perfect.
perfect and in constant communication with God.
And this is going to be a moment that he is not going to. This is
Of which he's so incredibly scared that blood begins to pour out of his face.
Yeah, he's praying so hard. But in that moment, though, he's also saying, if this is your will, let it be done.
Let it be done.
Because he knew the whole purpose that if he, right there,
Man, if you don't think that Jesus doesn't love you, think about that moment.
yeah,
Because God says no, this is the way it has to be done, and Jesus is like, okay.
yeah,
Well, and the other thing we love to get wrong in this moment, I think, as Christians, is, you know, that Satan thinks when he's killed Jesus, when Jesus is dead, Satan thinks he's won. No. The garden and the entire time on the cross, from the garden till Jesus is dead, is Satan trying to convince Jesus not to go through with it.
yeah,
Because he knows, that's the thing about Satan, he knows what's coming. If Jesus is successful in his mission and bears the weight of all of our sin and dies on the cross, he knows he's coming back.
yeah,
Satan knows that, and he knows that once Jesus is dead and has committed the act of the sacrifice for us, it's over.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and then so many people were like, why did he rise then? And he did, because then people just think a crazy man just said he did something and just
And
died.
think about this too. Like, sorry, I'm going to go back to us for a second.
This will be the last thing.
So Jesus is being crucified with the other two men, right? And
Yeah.
we see this the three of us know this story, but you know, you have one man on a cross next to him who says, if you're who you say you are, get us out of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's last ditch attempt to get Jesus to stop the whole thing, because Satan knows
While he
that
was still up there.
while he was still up there. Then you have the man on the right, on the other side, who's like, what? He's talking to the other guy on the cross. Do you really not, like, is it not clear to you now who this guy is?
Yeah. Why would he do all this?
And the beautiful thing there is the second thief, the one who ends up in paradise in the story, starts off heckling Jesus just like the other guy.
Yes.
yeah.
So something happens
In like that.
in the course of those 6 hours, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that Jesus is on the cross. Something happens that dude goes, "Oh no, this is different."
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, it's one of those examples where we get into this legalistic view of you have to say certain words to be
You have to be
saved. You have to
baptized.
be baptized to be saved. This thief on the cross was
I love this story.
I love this because he wasn't baptized. He didn't. There weren't special words that he prayed.
He didn't speak in tongues.
He didn't speak
see
in tongues. He
of-
didn't see. All he says was, Jesus, today, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
He believed.
He believed.
He believed that Jesus was it, because, and so many people would be like, that's just him begging, right? That's just him saying, oh, save me, save me. No, in his words, in his heart, he was saying, I know where you're going. Just remember me.
The other guy was begging.
Right.
Yeah. He was saying,
Do
save-
something to get us
Get
out
us,
of this.
get us
Let's
down
make-
from this. The second guy says, "We're dead."
The
he's-
second guy has accepted.
the fate,
The fate.
and said, I know where you're going. Remember me. And Jesus said, I will, because
because
We're going to
of
be in paradise
what you're
today.
saying,
We're going to be in paradise today.
what you're believing, and that's the thing that I want to get across.
And
too.
Jesus was it made him so happy when people had faith.
And I know we need to wrap up, but I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this since we're on the subject.
Okay.
But that's the thing, accepting Christ doesn't have to be coming forward at an altar call.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be praying a prayer with a pastor. It doesn't have to be any of those churchy
Yes.
things. Accepting Christ could be right where you are sitting right now. You're saying, God, you know what? I'm a sinner. I know I've done wrong.
Yep.
I know that without you, I can't do it.
Yep. Exactly.
And that I want to make Jesus my Lord
Mm-hmm.
in the same faith that the second thief had,
Yep.
to say, remember me. If you're not saved yet,
Yeah.
church doesn't save you.
No.
Baptism doesn't save you.
Baptism doesn't save you. The three of us sitting here don't save you.
No.
Any mega church pastor doesn't save you.
Nope.
The same faith that the second thief had on the cross,
Yep.
saying, just remember me.
And it's so powerful of like I said, he knew his fate of he was going to, he knew it was the end, right? And that's what it is that God wants us to realize that we can't do it on our own. We do it on our own, we already know where we're going.
We got nothing.
We got nothing. And what we're saying is, Jesus, I want you to save me. I want you to, God, save me, because if you don't, then I know where I'm going. You realizing the whole picture.
What was Satan's sin? It was pride.
Yep, he was real. He thought
He
was,
wanted the glory, right?
He thought he was better.
What is the cure from sin? Humility.
Yes.
To be able to say, I'm a sinner, I've done wrong, to humble yourself to that moment, and to the authority and the mercy of Christ the King.
Yep.
Of someone else.
Yep.
Because, and I know we're over, and I'm just going to keep
No, this
going.
is good.
That's where today we're such an inward focused people. We're such a selfish people that I think that's part of the reason why there are folks who don't want to accept that, because that's then me relinquishing control of the way I want it to be, the
Yeah.
way I feel, and giving that to someone else.
Yeah. And we struggle with the idea, especially in America, where performance-based just culture, we put that in our relationships, and our relationship with God. We believe that if we're not doing it, we're worthless, but we're not supposed to do it. We need to relinquish control over this problem, because we're not going to find the solution. We can't. We know what the solution is, but we can't do it. We can't die for our own sins. Jesus did that. He was the only one that lived a perfect life. That was the thing, is he lived a perfect life, never sinned, and laid that perfect record for anyone to take. To swap your rap sheet, whatever you've done in your whole life, and say, right now, I understand that I've got a rap sheet, and if I continue doing what I'm going to do, I know where I'm going to end up going. But what I can do, God, is you've given me a way. You've put it on the bottom shelf for me to grab, that all I have to do is just say, I want to serve you. I believe that what you did is true, that you died for my sins, that you've made a way for me to be with you and to have a blessed life. because he wants to bless us in this life too, because blessing us in this life leads others to see his goodness also, because people might not see God's goodness unless they see it through you, because we're supposed to be a light in the world. And that's all that you have to do is because we believe that we have to be so controlling of everything that we do in our lives. And the biggest decision that you could ever do is let go.
And man, if you're on the fence about that,
there's
man,
no
just
better
give
day
that-
than right now.
give that control up.
Yeah.
Give it up, because
Even Max says so.
Max
Even
is,
Max
Max,
says so.
Max is saying, "Amen, preacher." He's in the background.
give it up, because there's
Max. He keeps forgetting that you guys are here, and he's like, "What's that other voice?"
give that control up, because there is no, you can't do it on your own.
No.
When,
And if you think you can do it on your own, sorry, you're foolish.
Yeah.
well, the popular question to ask is, would God send a good man to hell? The answer is no. The problem is there's no good men.
Our best is worthless rags to God's righteousness.
Okay.
Bring it on. Come on.
I love that verse, that our best is our worthless rags. But we're going to get a little graphic here for a moment, because let's be honest about what that
Yeah.
phrase means.
Yep.
Our best is a used menstrual pad to God.
Yeah.
That's what when it says our best is rags, that's what it's talking about.
Because it's taking something that you think is so perfect and then saying, no, this is something that is being used quite often for a not so pleasant task. And that's what you think is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's your offering to the one and,
and
only
so
God.
many people would be like, then God's standards are too high. No,
No.
it's not.
No, because also here's the other thing is you're going to fail every day. But that's where God's grace and his mercy come into play.
Yeah.
Like, no, God's standards aren't set too high, because that's what he wants, expects, and rightfully
I don't know what he's barking at.
Max, get over here.
He goes, "You gonna play with me now?"
God expects us. Man, I lost my train of thought.
Hopefully, it'll come back to you, and then we can continue the conversation.
Bottom line is today, if you haven't made that decision
Yes.
to follow Jesus, there is no better. Sorry,
Just look at it. He was just like, he was a guest. Like, he just prepped up, like he was just like, yes, Justin.
there is no better time
No.
to do that,
Yeah.
and there are no magic words.
Nope. It's like we talked about last episode. When you begin that relationship, or when you're trying to build that relationship with God, it's a heart thing.
Right.
If your heart has a desire to follow God and has a realization of, like, you've done things in your life that you're not proud of, and things that you know that God would not be pleased with that you've done, and you don't have the solution. You can't. I mean, you can't do anything. Just like we said, the best that you can do is worthless rags. Then at that point, you have to follow Christ.
Right.
And
Because what else is there
Yeah.
at that point?
And all he wants is you to call out his name. And it can be simple as, Jesus,
I need you.
I need you.
And that's it. Done.
Period.
And he'll come to
because
you.
in that whole sentence, the reason why you need him is because you can't do it by yourself. And so many people would say, well, my life's not going to be better with God, me following God or following Jesus. My life's not going to get better. I'm still going to be struggling with depression. I'm still going to be struggling with the sinful desires that I have. I'm still going to be struggling with X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, though, is you can either go through those things without God, or you can go through those things with God. The creator of the universe, the person that created you and owns everything. Everything goes through his hands. Would you rather him be part of the situation or be away from him?
There will be in this life, there will be trouble.
Yep.
But who are you going to go through? Who are you going to go with? Who are you going to walk with it through? Yourself or God?
Yeah. And so to end the point, as Justin's trying to land this, is if you're listening to this and you've been on the fence of this situation of like, do I follow God? What does it mean to follow God? Is it even something I should do? And you've been listening to this and you feel the tug of like, yeah, I know that I've done some terrible things in my life and I can't figure it out on my own. And I know what the result is of my sin nature, the judgment of what it is. And I've been listening and I've heard from other people of what Jesus has done in my life. And I hear that Jesus is paid that for me. Then, like I said, every single chance, your second chances is every single second of your day. Every single day that you wake up, every single night that you put your head down, every breath that you take, every meal that you eat, that is a second chance. That is a chance for you to follow him. Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
Max
that's such a great point, and I don't mean to laugh at that.
But then Max, yeah. Well, you're not going to hear that on that because I'm going to mute.
I was going to say that's why I haven't said anything.
Yes, thank you, John. But man, we went over, but that was so good. We are going to continue, hopefully, this conversation in our next episode. But we'll see you then.